Coach, obviously knew it was going to be an exciting game, a tough game. Two great teams in the GNAC at Redwood Bowl. It was packed, and not the outcome you wanted. Some mistakes in the game that were really hurt you guys, especially later in the game. But just kind of talk about your impression after that difficult loss on Saturday.
First of all, it was a great night in the Redwood Bowl. I mean, what a crowd! To get 7,300 plus in there on a beautiful, North Coast night, a great evening. Yes, we're disappointed. It was too good to football teams. Azusa Pacific has revamped their roster at some key spots, and certainly are improved over their team a year ago. And it was anybody's game. And we had the lead entering the fourth quarter, but mistakes in the kicking game, mistakes on offense with turnovers, really is what dictated, the final outcome. And you give credit to Azusa Pacific for forcing those mistakes and capitalizing on them. And from our standpoint, it's certainly something that we have to clean up. Uncharacteristic of our offense, uncharacteristic of Robert Weber, with the 3 interceptions. We had an interception at the end of the first half where we had the ball entering and in Azusa territory, and then again at the end of the game, 2 interceptions on our final 2 possessions, both of which were in Azusa territory. And certainly the first interception that they took back for a touchdown there at the end was the difference maker. But we felt very confident under 2 minutes to go, the ball in our hands, that we would do what we did a week ago and put that ball in the end zone and get a win. But Saturday night was not the case, and we'll go back to work and get better from that.
After the loss and then short week in terms of having to travel so far north, how difficult does that make this week where you got to get a lot in before heading out on the road?
Every loss is difficult, and that's a positive thing, by the way, that we've elevated this program to the point where we don't take losses lightly. They're difficult, they're disappointing. This loss in particular, this was the first time that Robert Weber, Jaquan Gardner, Alex Kappa, some of these juniors have lost a game in the Redwood Bowl, when you think about it, with our last loss, being all the way back in 2013. So, these kids will respond, no question about that. We do have a long trip, but we're used to long trips. That's, when you sign on at Humboldt State, that's part of the deal, that we have these trips, and I think we make them a positive thing. It's a team building, team bonding opportunity. But yeah, it does mean for a short week. We will practice, today, Wednesday, and Thursday morning, leave Thursday afternoon, and for a Saturday evening game. So again, it's that Thursday departure, Sunday return, which is common for us, but unusual for anyone else. But we'll make the most of it. And coming off a defeat, the best medicine for that is you get back into practice and finally get a game come the next Saturday and get that good feeling back. And that's our goal for this week.
Is it difficult going on the road, Canada? Hey, bring your pass. Make sure you have those first off. But just any distractions, making a trip up there.
Yes, and yes. The passport thing is we've been working on that since the beginning of the summer when the schedule first came out. We're still dealing with issues this week, we had a player have to go down. 2 players, I think, have to go down to San Francisco to try and get an expedited thing. We had players that joined us late in the summer, so it's understandable that they're still working on that, and we may end up leaving a couple players home as we get ready to leave because they were unable to get their passports in time. So that is a headache that you normally don't deal with on game week, but the trip up to Canada necessitates that. But again, we'll go up there and hopefully get back to our winning ways. The focus this week is on Humboldt State. Simon Fraser is off to a very difficult start, but our focus is on Humboldt State, getting back to playing the type of winning football, which means win the kicking game, take care of the football, win the turnover takeaway battle. We've been really good at that over the past few years, and Saturday night was an exception, and we paid dearly for it. So we'll get back to those winning ways soon.
Looking at Simon Fraser video, what have you seen from that?
Again, it's difficult because they played 2 very good teams. They played at Idaho State, a member of the FCS and Big Sky League, and then they played Texas A&M Kingsville. And Kingsville's now 2-0. They certainly seem to have turned it around. They beat an FCS team themselves in game 1. Simon lost both of those games handily, and they've really struggled offensively to date. They've only scored 10 points in their first 2 games. They're minus 29 yards rushing after 2 weeks. But I know this, Simon Fraser is going to beat someone in this conference this year. They have talent. They've got 2 linebackers, the Herdman brothers, Jordan Herdman, who was the Defensive Player of the Year last year in the conference off a team that did not win a game. He's a player that I think will have an NFL look and certainly be a top pick in the CFL when that draft comes around. So we cannot take Simon Fraser lightly. If we get caught up in looking at their record over the last year plus, if we get caught up in looking at their stats over the first 2 games this year, that would be a mistake. And I think the character of our team, the maturity of our team will be tested a little bit in that regard. We have to focus on ourselves and doing the things that we need to do to be successful. And if we do that, I feel good about our chances on Saturday. If we don't do that, we're going to give an opponent an opportunity. And again, they're playing at home for the first time, so there's a lot of excitement there to have a home game.
My last question, talk about the growth of your defense. Obviously last week, the offense kind of put the defense in some bad, miscues, some bad situations, but talk about the growth of your defense.
Really pleased with our defense last week overall. Held Azusa to 361 yards, held Scobie to 60-some yards. He's one of the top backs in this conference. The issue defensively is our inability after 2 weeks to, force turnovers. We have not forced 1 turnover on defense in 2 weeks, and that's certainly a focus, and will be a focus this week as we get back to practice. We're young, that we know, but we're going to get better. That's the neat thing about teams that are young or having young players, is that they should improve and get better as they gain that valuable experience. But this week we will start, and I've never done this, we're going to start 3 freshmen and a true freshman in the secondary. Both corners will be true freshmen. 1 safety will be true freshman. The other safety will be a redshirt freshman. So that right there tells you just how young we are. Now these kids are talented. That's why they're starting. They have talent, but they lack the experience that you'd like to have. But our situation is that's it this year. These kids are going to be put into key spots and play a lot of football for us. And because they do have talent, we should see them improve significantly as this season moves on.
Great. And just to rewind a little bit, we're playing a little catch up because we're covering late in the season, and we're not just here because of the loss.
Okay.
But speaking to the loss, was there anything that surprised you that you guys kind of got taken by surprise from Azusa?
I'm just very impressed with how they look physically. That's as impressive a looking team in our conference as I've seen. I've been doing this for quite some time, but they have a lot of big, tall, good athletic kids and that play the game well. And so I don't think we were caught off guard, but I was very impressed watching them. And again, it comes down to just they executed better than we did. They had 2 long kickoff returns, one down to the 3-yard line, another one into our territory. They forced turnovers. We had the fumble early. We gave them the ball on the 22-yard line, the 3-yard line, and the 49-yard line. And off that, they scored 17 points. And then through an interception that resulted in another 7. So there's 24 points that we directly contributed to with Azusa. Not to take anything away from them. They made the plays, we did not. But thankfully, we do get a second shot at them. There's a lot of football to be played in our conference, and I think the conference is so strong this year, with the top 4 teams certainly being very even, that it's going to be difficult to be undefeated in this conference as we were a year ago. So a lot of football, disappointed with the loss, but excited to get back out there.
Did you find like an underlying conversation throughout the game that you were telling your guys, like message-wise?
Not really. Again, it just, I really thought, and I told some people prior to the game that I felt we would learn a great deal about our team through that performance, and I did, and I think we did. I came out encouraged. I really did. It just, yes, we lost the game on the scoreboard, and ultimately that is what it's about to win that game. But very encouraged by the play of our defense. A lot of young kids that are growing before our eyes. With that, disappointed in some other areas, but know that we can correct the mistakes that were made. and we'll do so. And so we have a few injuries that we have to deal with, and that will test our depth at certain spots. But overall, I was encouraged. Yes, disappointed with the loss, but encouraged by what I saw and what I believe this football team can ultimately become.
And if you have to drop one early in the season, is the best time to do it to kind of learn.
You know, it really is. And we haven't done that in the last couple of years. I think we've won our first 5, before a loss in the past 2 seasons, something like that. So this is a little bit different feeling with that regard. But I've always been a believer, you take a negative, you turn it into a positive. And we'll take the disappointment of Saturday night, and it will in some ways become a positive as we move forward with this. So I agree. It's never a good time to lose, and you hate doing it. I tell our players, we're not ever going to get used to this. You come here, we're going to win games. And that's what this program's all about. I think we built it to that point. But when that doesn't happen and you're on the short end, let's learn from that and be better because of it. And I think we will.
Is there one major takeaway as a team that you guys think your biggest takeaway from this game?
It's just the continued growth of our defense. Cameron Buell did not practice rather at all during the week, got a brace on Thursday. So the one guy that has the experience we were without throughout the week. But it's nice to see young guys starting to step up. I thought Jeff Schott had maybe his best game in a Lumberjack uniform. That was good to see. We got Arian Nash, Davian Johnson, C.J. Smith, 3 true freshmen at the secondary positions. We got Sefa. Do we ever figure out how to pronounce his last name? All right, Sefati, that starts at defensive line for